Good morning. Good morning. Happy Motivational Monday. Today, y'all, I want to talk about something that's actually a real serious subject, and that is mental health, mental well-being. Now, mental well-being, in my opinion, is just as important, if not more so, than your physical well-being. I mean, everybody focuses on their physical health, getting in shape and doing all that stuff, and that's great. That's important, but your mental well-being is, in my opinion, is actually more important, right? Because if you're not, mentally fit, mentally sound, then really nothing else matters. Now, full disclosure here, I'm about to reveal something that I've never told anybody, not family, not friends, not anybody ever. And people see me, and most people who know me, they see me as this happy, energetic, happy-go-lucky person, who's, always seems to be happy, right? Now, for the most part, that is true. I'm one of those irritating morning people. I wake up energetic, I wake up happy, singing off key, all of that. Okay, everybody who knows me, has ever dealt with me, they know that, right? But just like everybody else, I've gone through my share of depression. I've gone through my share of ups and downs, right? Particularly when my mom passed away. Took me a couple of years to really get over that, right? But I kind of dealt with it on my own. I've always had a very good support system, right? When I've gone through things, I've had close friends and family who always helped me get through that, and that's worked for the most part. But when I went through my divorce and then a subsequent relationship after that, I was in a place that I never found myself before. I was in a place where I was blaming myself when I, thought it was something wrong with me. And again, I still had a very strong support system, family, close friends, but it was, I felt I needed something more to get me through it, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And it took somebody who, actually, this person was just an acquaintance. It wasn't someone I was particularly close with, but they suggested that I go to therapy. And I'm like, therapy? I'm like, man, get out of here. Black people don't go to therapy. And that is a narrative that I had believed forever, that black people don't deal with therapy. They don't go to therapy. Now, granted, it is a very ridiculous narrative, but that's something that I believe. And for years, I wouldn't even consider it. And quite honestly, the person that said it, they told me, they said, look, I went through therapy and it helped me a lot. And this happened to be a black person who said it. But even then, I'm like, nah, So it was a few months later, I finally decided to try it. I finally decided to go to therapy, which I'd never told anybody, ever. So I did this for about a year, and I got to be honest with you, man, it was probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life, because it helped me through a dark period that I never thought I'd find myself in. But it helped my mental well-being so much so now that when I get to those states, when I get, if I have a time of depression, I don't stay there long, because now I know how to deal with it. And therapy taught me how to own it, right? Because in the past, I would just depress it or repress it rather, and just, push it to the side like, it wasn't there. And I was very good at presenting myself a lot of times like nothing was wrong, and people couldn't tell. I was very, very good at presenting this image that I was happy and everything was great and nothing was wrong, and no one could tell, but I knew. But once I went to that therapy, it taught me how to own whatever issue, whatever depression I was dealing with. And that actually helps you to be able to cope and learn how to work your way through it. Like I say, it's great to have friends and support system. And therapy it's not for everybody, right? But the bottom line, my message today is, whatever you're dealing with, understand that your mental health is really, really important. When you're dealing with something, do not try to go at it alone, right? Do not try to deal with issues by yourself, because it's hard to bring yourself out of it. It's hard because you kind of stay there and you wallow in it. And when you suppress it, it can manifest itself in different ways. It can give you health issues. It can cause you to have suicidal thoughts and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, talk to somebody. If it's not a therapist, talk to somebody. Do not go at this alone, all right? Because it is not worth it, right? You have, you know, when you go through things like that, you start doubting yourself. You start wondering, you know, what's going on with me. But it helps to talk to someone. And for me, physical therapy really was an amazing thing that I never thought I'd do, but I did it and it helped me. So my message to everybody listening to this, if you're going through something, talk to somebody and deal with it, because it will be, I promise you, it will help you get through it. All right. So that's the message for the day, right? Mental health is very important, and talk to somebody. And if you need help, it's okay. All right. It's okay to get help. All right. And a lot of times, as you know, as men, I can, you know, from that perspective, speaking from a man's perspective, a lot of times, you know, you feel like, well, you know, that makes you weak if you go to therapy. No, actually, it makes you smart, and it says how strong you are, because you realize that you can't do this by yourself. All right. So that's it. It is, you know, today I want everybody to just, you know, think about their mental health, take it seriously, and make sure you take some mental health breaks, some mental health days, right? Ask yourself, when the last time I took a break just for myself, my own mental well-being, not for the kids, not for my spouse or anybody else, but for me. If you haven't done that, take some time to do that, all right? And if no one else has told you today, remember this: God loves you, and so do I. Be blessed.